Hello. Yeah, we made it. Welcome to this edition of If You Asked Jimmy. We're very excited to bring you today's edition because of our guest today is a handful. So thank you for joining wherever you are joining us from Britain, from Canada, from Australia, the USA, Nigeria, other parts of Africa, Asia, and other continents. Thank you, everybody. On this program today, we shall be hosting a very, very unique personality, a man of many parts. And we are talking of no other person than a professor of medical parasitology. You can see how long that word itself is. We are hosting today Professor Akinwale Efunsile. I'm going to share some details about our guest today and just a little bit of his profile because our prof is loaded. Professor Wale Efunsile, I'm sorry, I apologize. Did I say Efunsile? I take that back.
Efunshile.
Professor Wale Efunsile is a consultant pathologist and fellow of the Medical College of Pathologists of Nigeria. He is currently a professor of medical parasitology, Ekwueme Federal University, Abakaliki, Ikwo, Ebonyi State, Nigeria. Also is currently the Dean, Faculty of Basic Clinical Medicine, Ekwueme Federal University, Ebonyi State, Nigeria. In his past experience, he was formerly a visiting professor, University of Calabar, formerly a clinical consultant at Ebonyi State University Federal Teaching Hospital, Abakaliki, was formerly a lecturer at Ebonyi State University, Nigeria. He started practicing medicine as a medical doctor at Olabisi Onabanjo University in Ogun State, Nigeria. He obtained his PhD from Leipzig, I hope I pronounced that, Leipzig University in the state of Saxony, Eastern Germany, with a PhD in medical microbiology and parasitology. Professor Wale Efunsile is a graduate of the University of Lagos, where he obtained his MBBS medicine and surgery. Prof, you are welcome to our program, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
It is such a privilege to have you on our show, and thank you for showing up. So I have said that much about you, like that's the professional summary. That's just the tip of the iceberg, right? So do you have, I know there are other parts to you. Do you want to add one or two things to let us know you better? Because apart from academics and practice of medicine, I know you have your hands in a couple of things. Go ahead, Prof.
Thank you very much, sir, Mr. Jimmy. Like you have rightly said, I'm a professor of parasitology. I study parasites. And
the parasite that we are running for.
Yeah, I like to study them. No, in medicine or in microbiology generally, where we have three types of association in nature. There's an association whereby both parties in the association, they are benefiting from the association. That we call mutualism. But there are also some association whereby somebody is benefiting and the other party is not benefiting, even though it's not suffering any loss.
Right.
That is called commensalism. Then the third type of association is the one in which somebody is benefiting while the other party is suffering. That is called parasitism. The person that is benefiting from the association is a parasite, while the other party that is not benefiting, that is suffering, is called host.
Yes, sir.
So that is one field of study in academics and in medicine. I study parasites, whereby the host is suffering but the parasite is benefiting. And naturally, when we hear parasite, as a layman, nobody wants parasites. Even in human relationship, it's also applied.
Even me.
It applies in human relationship. You may have somebody that depends on you, so this person is benefiting while you are suffering because of association with that person. So that type of person can rightly be described as a parasite.
As a parasite.
But then, it's not all bad. When we say these parasites also have their own positive aspects. So every coin has two sides. In most cases, association with parasite leads to problem. If you as a host, you are not able to manage your parasite very well. That's what usually leads to a lot of complications. Some of which can be life-threatening and even deformation. Generally, parasites, they don't like to kill their hosts.
Wow.
Unlike predators.
So there's a difference between predators and parasites. That's what you are letting us.
Yes. Predators we like to, like a lion now, you understand? We like to kill, an example of predator, we like to kill his victim. But in parasitism, sometimes parasites go out of their way to ensure the survival of their hosts.
Wow. That is strange. I'm learning that for the first time.
Yeah. And sometimes parasites help their hosts to survive. Because they know that if the host should die, they also die. So sometimes go out of their way to help their hosts so that it can survive, so that they too can also live long and also survive.
In a nutshell, you are making us to understand that parasites are not always bad the way most people view them.
At all.
They are not always
bad.
That's a big lesson.
They are not always bad.
That's a big learning call for us today, sir. Thank you very much for throwing that out there. All my life, and I believe it will be the same for most of our viewers, except people who are in this biochemistry or medical parasitology field. So most people think parasites are a bad thing. Are there other things you do outside your professional, medical, and academic practice?
Well, I'm also a very passionate farmer.
Which kind of farming?
I'm into fish farming.
Ooh.
I'm into fish farming.
Wow.
And if I want to be sincere with you, I will tell you that I make more money from fish farming, even than from what I earn as a lecturer or even as a doctor.
Amazing. So you are saying that academics and medicine is your passion just to help humanity, to contribute to the community. But if it's for survival or for the dough.
Yeah. It's in my farm. It's from my fish farming. That's why I get most of my money.
Thank you. Nice meeting you, Prof. That's so much for introduction and just ice breaking. Now, let me ask you, if you compare ancient and modern, let us say ancient being Africans, and then we had the colonialists come and everything changed to Western. We now have orthodox medicine as compared to our trado medicine or whatever was indigenous to us. In the past, I do hear of medical practitioners being sanctioned when they have opinions about anything that goes outside orthodoxy because of the oath that they have sworn. Maybe it's a kind of, but I hope you will be able to get the latitude to compare with us that because people believe that the efficacy of our own indigenous medicine. What would you say about that?
Well, indigenous medicine has a lot of advantages over our modern medicine, sincerely.
How, sir?
Because most of the products that from where we get the modern medicine, they are from the plants. They are from plants. They are from indigenous medicine.
Thank you.
Only that in modern medicine, we are able to extract the active ingredient from the plants and refine it and able to quantify that this is the dosage.
Wonderful.
Unlike traditional medicine, where the crude plants together with the active ingredients, where they use it, you understand? That's the advantage. But then the problem with modern medicine, like there are a lot of theories, especially the pharmaceuticals.
Right.
Sometimes they are not very sincere. Sometimes they are not very sincere.
Right.
So that's one of the things.
Thank you very much for that. Because growing up over the years, it's usually like kind of maybe doctors had oath of secrecy, which I don't think it is, but I know you have this. Is it hypocritical or what is that?
Yeah, hypocritical oaths.
Yeah. So, and a lot of them, it will be as if it's a disservice to, you know, orthodox medicine, and they might be sanctioned, but you have been able to put it in a way because it's commonsensical to know that everything that we even take to the lab originates from nature. Even our own human, even as we stand, you scientists tell us that all elements that occur in nature are present in our body. And when we go back, the earth absorbs it. So now everything pharma, of course, a lot of things are generated, you know, maybe synthetically in the labs. But generally, we know most things come from the earth. They come from nature, and they are now converted and refined. So to now say that people that are using those things naturally and are able to apply them and have found them as remedies, as if to just trash it. After all, modern medicine actually evolved to what it is today with modern equipment, laboratories, and advanced technology. You know, so I'm grateful that you're able to help us situate that. Also, in the past, we are going to other areas. JK, we are having some feedback. I do not know. Prof, do you have a fan in your background?
Yeah.
Okay, but keep it. We don't want you to be.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
We don't want you to be hot.
It's okay.
All right. I think that noise stopped. Thank you, sir. So, where I was going is that we have what can be classified today as modern diseases. I put the word modern because growing up in our own times, even in Nigeria, there are some things we never used to see then, but just because we adopted the food of other places and their ways of lives, especially the Western world, we started developing diseases that were not common. That doesn't mean they are not present at all, but in a high preponderance rate, in a high rate of occurrence. What will you say with where we find ourselves with modern diseases? Cancer is just one of them. What will you say to that? How can you help us to understand both in our own African society and and globally generally? Because even the preponderance of these diseases were not this high, even in Western societies before. But right now, it's all over. And there's this what is called big the medical industrial complex and the big pharma, where it is profit over people. And it looks like I don't know if these things are being, they don't want it to go away anytime soon, because like our guest last time on this program said, that it is multi-billion-dollar business, trillions. Over to you, sir.
You see, modern diseases, like you have rightly said, emanates mainly from our lifestyles. Like in the olden days, there are diseases like cancers that are not very common, but because of exposure to certain chemicals, food preservatives, you know, all this nylon, those are some of the things. Let me give you a typical example. You see, I was in Germany before. When I brought my family to Germany, my daughter there was 5 years old. And within 2 years, she started developing, you know, puberty rapidly.
Excuse me, wow.
Because over there, we have this milk. The milk comes in 1 liter. And she likes taking milk. She likes taking milk. Wow. So she started developing breasts. But surprisingly, when we came back to Nigeria, the puberty was reversed.
Wonderful, wonderful.
It was reversed. So I was surprised. So with that, I could attribute it to the type of food we are eating over there. The milk, the chocolate, all those things. Some of this, some of this food, they produce them with hormones. The cows, they give them hormones to produce milk.
Right.
And these hormones, when you take it, it also acts on your body. So I could now, I came up with an hypothesis that it was the hormones from those milk, from a lot of milk that she took over there that make her breast to start developing rapidly. So when she came back to Nigeria, instead of her to continue, she reversed, the breast disappeared again.
Wow.
So some of this food that we eat, especially from genetically modified animals, you understand, some of this get back, have a way of passing back to us. Unlike in the olden days or in our African settings, where we eat local chickens, eat local meat without hormones, without injections, you understand, which are very healthy. Even in the Europe, organically produced food is more expensive, but the rich people, they prefer it than those that are genetically modified or animals that are given hormones and antibiotics. Wow, so some of these diseases emanate from what we eat, from what we drink. There's a saying that water is the only drink for a wise man.
Water is the only drink for a wise man. I choose to be wise. Wow. So that's amazing. That leads me to another question. So because like what you said, it has not changed here. These milks are still being sold in jars here as well, 4 or 5, what we call 4 or 5 liters. That would be several gallons. It is actually in gallons. They call it gallon here, maybe 1 gallon. Yeah. So if just food, I mean, it's good that you are able to trace it. For many people, that's a lifestyle they will continue in for, I mean, as long as they stay in that area, maybe in that country or wherever.
Yeah, if we did not come back to Nigeria, she will have continued like that, and we will not know.
All right. So it means, I mean, that people should actually be watchful whenever they realize things that is not what they are expecting in their bodies. Now, that leads me to 2 things. You mentioned the plastic. You said even plastics. Is there a problem with plastics? We have used plastics and we are still using plastics all our lives.
Unfortunately, plastic is said to contain carcinogenic chemicals. In Europe now, they are beginning to phase out plastic. I remember as of then, they encourage you to carry water bottle from your home instead of using plastic, blind nylon. In those days, for example, here in Nigeria, it is leaves. If you want to wrap your food, you wrap it with leaves, which is organic.
From the farm.
Yes,
green leaves.
From the farm. But with civilization, they begin to wrap food with nylon, something like fufu, like pounded yam, like semo. They wrap it with nylon.
Is that a problem?
And this has consequences.
It's neater. Does that have is that a problem for us?
Yes.
In what way,
apart from the fact that these nylons are not biodegradable, they are a problem to the environment, unlike leaves, which is biodegradable and organic.
That's true.
So there are chemicals in these plastics and nylons,
right?
That have tendency to give people cancer.
Awesome. Thank you for enlightening us on that. Truly, I think the education is going around. In fact, they used to tell people, don't leave plastic bottled water in your cars. We have been hearing that, campaign for some time now, that if you keep the water, it is not as good to drink as it was when you put it there because of heat and interaction. And like you said, the particles, microparticles of these plastics that are not healthy to the body. So that's so far about food. You lived like 6 years in Germany. Why did you return to Nigeria? Many people, once they have the opportunity to Japa, and you're a doctor and you're practicing over there, why would you come back to Nigeria when many people are looking for the opportunity for visa?
Well, my brother, Nigeria is there's no place like home.
Wow.
Life over there is a life of slavery. It's very unfortunate that, yes, it's unfortunate
when you are
that
making hard currency.
Over there, they give you money with right hand and they collect it with left hand.
Oh.
And that is why most people, if you see somebody that travel abroad and come back to Nigeria to be spending money anyhow, they definitely, that person is into something else.
Wonderful.
Is doing something else over there. Either this 419, but there's no way you will be there. It is very difficult for you to save money. They give you the money and it ends there. It's difficult for you to save the money and bring it home. Everything is so restricted. So I enjoy the freedom of Nigeria. Nigeria is easy to make money compared to overseas. The only problem we have here is bad government. If not because of bad government, they are the ones that should even be coming to Nigeria, to Japa, to Nigeria, to come and enjoy.
For real. That is the Europeans and other parts of the world, Chinese, Indians, that should be coming to Nigeria.
Yes, if you have good government, they are the ones that are supposed to be coming to Nigeria, because here we are so blessed. When it comes to agriculture, the weather is okay. You don't have to pay to heat your room. You understand?
Yes, sir.
The weather is okay. You can easily get organic food. You can farm here from January to December. You can farm.
The year. But Prof, you are back to Nigeria because there are people who jackpada, and they I heard some people regret it if things didn't work out according to what they expect, and it's very difficult for them to now japa again because sometimes once you disconnect, it's not easy to start again. I mean, when you look at Nigeria today, will you say, and looking back with the current situation, will you say you have a good experience jackpada into Nigeria, or what's your experience?
Well, luckily for me, maybe because I have something good to do in Nigeria.
Right.
So for me, it's better. I have no regret coming back. If I want to go back, I can always go back. But for me, I'm comfortable here than going back. If you are young or you don't have anything to do, well, you can decide to go and try your luck over there. But if you have something serious you are doing in Nigeria, it's better to stay.
But since you are someone that, you are in the medical field, and a lot of people train abroad. Some of them, they train abroad, come back home, and you interact. You have contacts internationally, and you travel internationally too frequently. I want to ask you, have you met people who jackpaded and regretted it? Do you know one or two like that?
I have a lot of friends that travel to Saudi Arabia, to Arab countries to go and hustle, but eventually most of them, they still come back to Nigeria.
Wow.
And they even though they earn a lot of money, but sometimes money is not everything.
Money is not everything.
Yes, money is not everything. There are people that say, oh, because of my children, let me go and give them a good life, let me expose them. Eventually, the children will have their own independence. You understand? You sacrifice your happiness because you think you want to give your children better opportunity. At the end of the day, when the children now have their freedom over there, you will end up being lonely. Unlike in Nigeria here, where it's difficult to be lonely here. You have extended family system, you have friends to keep you company, you have things to do. But over there, once your children leave, everybody is always busy looking for money, it's difficult to socialize. It's difficult to socialize over there.
Nigeria. Wow. I keep that phrase. It's difficult to be lonely in Nigeria. And that is so true.
It's difficult. It's not possible.
I agree with you. Except that person wants it that way, because
yes,
depression is a very big deal in the Western world.
Yes.
Even for us, in fact, many of us grew up to now. The word depression is now common. Are you getting me? Probably it was better known to you, medical practitioners, doctors, and people in the medical field, or paramedical, or in psychology or counseling. Maybe that word was familiar with them. They were familiar with the word before, but almost on every list of, even if a Nigerian is tired now, you say depression. Even if they are stressed, just momentary stress, they will say it's depression. Even you will see children telling their parents when they are correcting them, don't come and give me depression. Like pure water now. You see? So you want to say something about that because, like you said, that it is difficult to be lonely in Nigeria. That is so. Well, you said that is why. I mean, depression wasn't our thing in the real sense of it, or probably we were depressed, we didn't know it. What's your opinion on that?
You see, depression in Europe, depression is a major problem. A lot of people that just say depression, why? They don't know the meaning of depression. When you have financial problem, you say, I'm depressed. They don't know the meaning of depression. If you go to Europe, you will know the real meaning of depression. Because, for example, during the winter.
Yes, sir.
During the winter, for example, the darkness, you may have darkness of about 18 hours of darkness.
Shorter days, longer nights.
Yeah, shorter days, longer nights. And exposure to light is one of the cure for depression.
Wow.
Yes. Exposure to light helps against depression. So when you have, when from 8 o'clock, it is still dark in the morning, by 5 o'clock in the evening, or even before 5, it's dark again. When you spend too much of time in darkness, it's one of those things that causes depression.
It's not just stress or overwork or concerns, mental issues, even light.
Yes, light. Light helps against depression.
Wow.
When you are exposed to too much darkness, over there, you see people that go and simulate the sunlight. You understand? That's why you see during the summer, they want as much as possible, they go naked because they want to expose their body to sunlight as much as possible when the opportunity lasts. Or like here, where we have light here, you know, from January to December, you have sun to shine on you. It gives you good health. It helps you against depression. Over there, you may not have any problem. You don't have financial problem. You have food, you have everything, but simply because you are too much exposed to darkness, it gives depression. It affects the hormones in our body.
Wow, that's an eye opener because a lot of us Nigerians are here in the Western in other parts of the world, and depression is becoming a word on the lips of a lot of our people, right? So what will you say about Nigeria's current situation, even though you have no regrets, but where are we as a country? And because, I mean, we that are in diaspora will feel it a lot when you see your friends who were doing fine before you left home, family members who were able to take care of themselves. Everybody seems to be under, I mean, not seems to be, the economic situation is biting. And we can also feel it here because for some people to even reach out to you to say, help me, you know that that thing has really, things are really bad. Because those people in your lives, because of their status, because of how you even, the level they are, you won't even expect that this could be so bad that they can't even meet certain needs. Not to talk of the everyday people, the lower class of people. What will you say about the situation of the country now? Is it real or is it perceived? Are things really that bad? At least you are on ground in Nigeria, you can tell us. And if what is the way out?
You see, unfortunately, like I said before, Nigeria is a blessed country, but we are cursed with bad leadership. And if not because of bad leadership and bad government, Nigeria is supposed to be a paradise.
Paradise.
Yes. There is really hardship right now. I can't, sincerely, it's very difficult. Things are very tough, but these are man-made. It is man-made. It is because of bad governance.
Wow.
Things are tough right now. And you see, and it has to do with the system, the foundation of the country itself. It has nothing to do with Tinubu. Even if it is Peter Obi, no article that is the ruling Nigeria now, it will still be tough. It has to do with the system. Nigeria is programmed not to prosper.
Oh my gosh, how? Programmed?
Yes.
Tell me about it, sir. Okay, looks like there's a brief freeze. That might be network. I'm very, very interested in hearing what Professor Wale
There's
wants
no every December, they will prophesy, oh, this year is going to be your year, this year is going to be better. But if you look at it critically, you by the time you run the year by December, you see that things has actually, it was even worse than last year. And I think the problem is the way Nigeria is structured. Nigeria belongs to nobody.
Nigeria belongs to nobody.
Yeah. Wow. So the faithfulness, the loyalty to the country is not there. When people get to power, they want to grab this is our opportunity. For example, as a Yoruba man now, if you become president, you see that this is our own opportunity. At least Hausa man has been there for 8 years. He's told. So if I don't see now, it's like I've missed the opportunity. The same thing. If another tribe get there, this is our opportunity. Even if people will tell you this is opportunity. So the loyalty is not there.
It's not to the country.
It's not there. Even the people that are leading us, they say, I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to people and honor. But it's a lie. They themselves, they are not faithful. They are not loyal. They are not
sincere.
Wow. They are not sincere. So how can Nigeria be importing crude oil and exporting crude oil? Nigeria is exporting, Dangote is exporting petrol, and NNPC is importing petrol.
Wow.
How do you explain that?
That is, it sounds counterintuitive though. I have a question, sir. Is Nigeria that bad right now? I think so hard compared to what it used to be. Especially people are saying, don't let me even say, I think I follow the news so well, even though I'm here, that the way things are right now, though you said it could have been, it might not have been different under maybe some other governments, but people that the rate of deterioration of the economy in the past, this current administration took over, has been very, 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 it has been accelerated. It has been so down the road than the pace it was before. What do you say? I think it's really that bad.
Yeah, it's really bad, and it's going to get worse. Unfortunately, it's going to get worse.
Why did you say so? Why do you say so? Because
of corruption. No, the political will is not there. Our leaders, they go out, look at electricity, look at fuel. To fix electricity in Nigeria is not a rocket science. But sometimes you think that it is people the people in power, they are sabotaging the system themselves.
Wow.
So all these are things that accumulate to increase poverty in the land.
Oh, so things are really
sometimes, and sometimes I think it's because of the way the country is structured. It's like a ship. You have a ship at the port, and in that ship, you put a monkey inside the ship, you put a bird, an eagle inside the ship, you put a fish inside the ship in the name of unity, and say they should go to the same place. The monkey will want to climb the tree, the fish want to come out of the ship and swim, the bird want to fly, but in the name of unity, you understand that all of us should we should be going to the same place, because Nigeria, the unity of Nigeria is not negotiable. That's sometimes one of the problems. When you look at Europe, you see some countries that are even less than 1 million. Because they speak the same language, they have the same culture, they give them the same country.
Homogeneity.
Yes, it helps. Yeah, wow. There are countries that are less than 1 million. You understand? But because they have the same value system, they have the same culture, they speak the same language, you understand? It's easy for them to move.
But we didn't put ourselves together. The colonialists it's a forced marriage.
Yes, they force us together because they have a vision. They know that that is the best way to exploit us.
Wow. Well,
that's the best way to exploit us.
Because they know that it was going to be very difficult for us to work together. I have a question.
It's not going to be possible. When you look at Yoruba man and Hausa man, you understand, we don't have to fight ourselves. No, that's not what you are talking. We were not saying we should carry gun and begin to fight Yoruba to fight Hausa. No, that's not what you are talking. But we don't, Yoruba, for example, and Igbo, or Igbo and Hausa, apart from being human being, Homo sapiens, they have nothing in common. The value system, the culture is different, you understand? The priority is different. So this one will say, let's go this direction. This one will say, no, it is the opposite direction. It is Sharia we want. Wow. No, they don't. This one will say, no, we want education. The other say, no, education, no, Western education is not good. Wow. So those are the things that the foundation that cannot make Nigeria to prosper.
Thank you very much, Prof. You have lived in the Western, and when we say West, that was the real West, because Germany has been a superpower, you know, from time immemorial. And I have this question because you mentioned the aspect of parenting in Germany, meaning that you are very present in your children's life as a doctor and as a candidate. Some people might not even have that time for family, but from what you have said, I know that you are a family man. I relate with you, so I know you're a family man. I want to ask, sir, if you compare parenting abroad and parenting in Nigeria, at least you have seen both sides of the divide, because from what you said, after 6 years abroad, you moved back to Nigeria and you have been parenting. What will you say about parenting in both places? Is it the same, or are there differences? Is it easier to parent, to raise children in Nigeria than Europe, or what? I'm saying this because we are the ones that we have two parts. We travel abroad. For someone who is a German right now, I wouldn't say Germish, who is German, that's their country, that's all they know. So they will raise their children in their culture. I want you to use your experience now, because I'm in America, for example, my children are here. There are a lot of Nigerians, millions of them abroad, whose children are with them. But you know that those are not our original countries, even though many of us still naturalize in these other countries and become citizens. But we are still have, you know, in fact, you know, when they want to call us, they'll say German Nigerian, Nigerian American, British Nigerian. So parenting, we that have this situation of being here and being there, being exposed to the Western world, how is it parenting both ways?
Well, both of them have their advantages and their disadvantages. There's one thing I appreciate with parenting in Germany, whereby you don't beat your children. By not beating the children, you understand, it makes the children not to tell lies, because they have nothing to lose and they are not afraid. There's no consequence.
Wow. I've never seen it that way.
There's no consequence for telling the truth. If you say, are you the one that put this in there? If he say, yes, I'm the one that put it there, he will say, because you cannot beat him. So there's no reason to lie. What makes people lie is a defense mechanism, whereby you want to try and escape punishment.
Wow.
So that culture of not beating their children makes their children, from our observation, to be more truthful and more sincere, because it will own up and there's no consequence. Right. And when you are not able to tell lie, if you are good at telling lie, a lot of other things goes with it. Unlike in Nigeria, whereby we beat our children, you understand? And the first thing, if the child do something wrong, you say, who do the first thing is to deny it, because you want to escape punishment. So that's one thing I appreciate in their culture.
Right.
But then in their parenting, the negative aspect of it is that the children, once they get to the age of 18, they go away.
Yeah, they leave home. They have to go to college.
They have to go from college. They don't have to take care of you when you grow up. They put you in old people's home.
Okay, that's what you mean. Because as adults, they have to leave home now. But what you are saying is that they now put the parents in old people's home.
Yes. Unlike here, where the children, they are made to, we bring up our children in a way to know that you cannot just go. You always have to remember where you come from. You know, you cannot just leave your parents. You understand? You still have to look back and take care of your parents. Here, that's the culture here. You bring up your children in the way that you know that, oh, you still have parents to take care of when you grow up.
I have a question right there, sir. Because in my channel, I have a video I made on don't make your children your retirement plan. Because some African parents have this mentality that, which is a right in a way, but some of these things have changed now that we are not living in a village or a small setting, that they will have as many children as possible. In those days, the reason for for many people having high number of children is, like in Yoruba, they will say, Momo to Mashe. We don't know the child that will pay back. We don't know the one that will have that good mind to be supportive. Then another thing is that their parents who actually invest in their children, let me even say, like, they parent their children, they do normal things that parents should do, send them to school and everything, with the hope that in their old age, it is the child by rights. It's the child that they are waiting for the child.
That's the wrong idea. That's very wrong.
I'm not saying, let me put a clause here, that children should not support them. As a matter of fact, every good child should support parents in old age. But the way the parents structure their life is that they have put all their hopes, all their plans, everything on these children. It gets so bad that some parents curse their children out when those children don't look back. I'm not saying children should be mean. I'm only saying that shouldn't people, as they are raising their children, also put something aside and remember themselves in old age, just in case. What do you say to that?
You see, it's absolutely wrong to make your children your retirement plan. It's absolutely wrong because you put them under undue pressure. You put them under undue pressure. And if they are not, if financially, if they end up struggling financially, then it makes it worse for them.
Where the parents still have entitlement mentality and the child is suffering.
No. That's very, very wrong. And it can push these children to crime and to some other vices because they'll be desperate for money to take care of their children. When I say that your children should take care of it doesn't mean money. You understand? Just checking on you, you understand? Checking on your welfare, money it has nothing to do with money. You understand? Even if you have money, you understand, you still want your children, you still want them to visit you, check on you, you understand, look back and make you happy. You understand? You want to see your children, you want to see your grandchildren, that's what I mean. But when you now want to make your children your retirement benefits, you are putting undue pressure on them.
Right.
Because they also have their own life to live. They have his own wife and children to take care of. You understand? You shouldn't be a liability to them. You should even be able to support them. You understand? Even when they are still working, you can still be a source of benefit to them and helping them to stand financially. Not that it should not be a burden to them. That's very wrong.
We also add that children themselves as well, because these kind of interviews, they are kind of informal communication, because people learn most of the time. Influences, when we talk about influences things that just come your way or you come their way, you stumble on, and sometimes people form opinions based on what they hear and what happens around them, or what they see others do and what they hear consistently. Some children are also negligent, and they are very lavish, very ostentatious, very loud, and they actually have it. But we have seen cases of public figures who are showy. I use the word showy right now. They like to be noticed all over, the social media and even in real life before social media. And then their parents that took care of them are languishing somewhere. What do you say about such people who just want to impress and they are not even kind? These are parents that actually were present in their life. I'm not talking of deadbeat parents or sperm donors, but parents that took care of them. And there are some children here that, even the token to support their parents at home, even though things, what do you say about children also circling back to support their parents? Is this something children should consider doing?
So if as a child, a lot of things also depend on upbringing.
Upbringing.
Yes, upbringing and parenting, like you have rightly said. The Bible said that train up your child in the way he should go. And when he grow up, he will not depart from it.
Right.
A lot of it depends on upbringing, even though it's also possible you know, for you to bring up your child properly, but along the line, it mix up with bad friends, bad influence, you understand? And that can make that child to derail completely, you understand? Right. Part of the parenting is to also educate your children about the influence, possible influence of bad communication or mixing with bad people. You know, it's very, very wrong and unfortunate. If as a child, you are not able to help your parents if there is a need, you should be able to help them. Not only your parents, your siblings too, your neighbors, not to not talk of your parents.
Right.
You understand? Yeah. If you are comfortable and your neighbors are not comfortable, you understand? I think it is one of our great leaders that said that the rich man cannot sleep because the poor man is hungry.
That's true. That's true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So as somebody, if you are comfortable and your neighbors need help, you should be able to help them, not to even talk of your parents.
Absolutely. I agree with you, sir. At the same time, as Africans, as much as we are very communal and very supportive, we also should deal with the issue of entitlement mentality and black tax, where people want to reap where they did not sow, where they want to give you guilt trip for not being able to carry community problem where you have not finished solving your own. And when they think, you know, because that's a very, very huge thing. That black tax is, even to siblings, it's just good. When you are good, but the system sometimes can make you feel under immense pressure. Many people who get is in Western world, it's not about themselves, what they will eat or what they will feed on, but it actually has to do with pressure because of the way our society is structured. Even people that are external to you, who don't know your situation, they have not spoken to you in years, they don't know your bank balance, they don't know the work you do. The only thing is that your only crime is that you cross the border to another country and they feel that you are picking money on the floor. You give money to people and they'll be like, they already know the exchange rate of the dollar and the pound and the euro and the lira and you know, every currency all over the world. And they will now look at the amount of money and be like, okay, how much is he giving me? Some people don't even say thank you. And, you know, they think if you have this money, as if you should give everything you have to one person, where you have 10 people, 20 people dragging your shirt, needing help. So we need to also draw a line on that. Let me give you like 30 seconds to talk about that. Do you feel it also in Nigeria, where people have this entitlement mentality and what is called black tax? Black tax is that your father raised you, you have to raise all your children. I'm not saying there's anything wrong. It depends on the family structure and usually puts people under burden. And then sometimes, you know, just because you are the successful one, even though they are not eating you and they are hungry, they just feel entitled that because you have it, they need to take part of it. They are not seeing it as something that should be your own initiative if you want to do it. What do you say to that? Being someone who's
you are the one that must strike a balance as a man, you know, and it's also depend on culture. I don't think we have that.
The pressure is real, sir. From outside.
The what?
The pressure is real. You said is somebody that will determine that thing by himself.
Yes, you are the one that will not give it. You understand? You are the one that will resist the pressure. You understand? Because your survival is very, very important. You have to strike a balance. You understand? You don't have to kill yourself to satisfy anybody. The only person that needed to die to satisfy us is Jesus Christ, and he has done that. If you not choose to do that, it's a vain. You just sacrifice yourself in vain. Now, there's a culture, there's a tribe in Nigeria. I don't want to mention the tribe so that it won't look somehow. They have a culture that you only need to train the first child. Once you train the first child, then you will train the other children. And they do it religiously.
Wow.
They do it religiously, and it's a setback. It causes setback. Because even when you are still working, you understand, by the time you become a graduate, you still have about 5 or 6 children, and until they also graduate before you can make progress in your life. You understand? That's not a good culture. And I don't think anybody, I don't subscribe to that. You only do what you can afford. You don't sacrifice yourself. You don't sacrifice your happiness. You don't sacrifice your life. You should know the boundary. that this is what I can afford. If it's more than that, I cannot afford it. There are some people that if you give them $100, you understand? They will say, for this man to give me $100, he must have millions. He must have millions. They will know that $100 you have given is a big sacrifice. It may even be your last cover.
Sacrifice.
But they will rationalize that for this man to give me $100, at least, probably he has $200 million.
Wow.
The tendency is there.
Right.
So you just do your best and leave the rest. You don't have to sacrifice yourself. You don't have to sacrifice your own life to please anybody. You do what you can do. If you cannot do it, you forget it.
Do your best and leave the rest. Thank you, Professor.
And leave the rest. You don't live your life to please anybody.
Thanks, Professor Efunshile. There are a lot of people that are having, well, many of us suffer from colonial mentality. And it causes us to relegate the way we have been brainwashed and the way the Western civilization has penetrated us, making us to see our own things as inferior and putting them aside and adopting theirs, line, hook, and sinker. How do you view the aspect of that kind of mentality, making us to relegate and demonize everything that is original to us as Africans? What's your view on that?
See, it's very, very unfortunate. And I can attribute it to religious mentality.
Religion is involved too?
Religion. Both Christianity and Islam, you understand, our religious leaders are guilty. They are the ones causing this problem for us. And sometimes they see it. Some of them are afraid of competition.
Wow.
They are afraid. They see it as if the money is supposed to be bringing to the church, for example, you understand? The other things that are competing for it. So they now try to demonize and draw a barrier so that your commitment will be, for example, to the church alone. I've just used the church as an example, you understand? Right. I'm sure it also applies to other religions. They will try to cut you away from your culture, from your tradition, you understand? So that you have more money to give. That's what I think. For example, if you go and buy a local chicken now, you understand, in the market.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It will be assumed that you want to use it for ritual.
Is it that bad?
If it's a Greek chicken.
Who?
If it's a Greek chicken, yeah, they believe you want to eat it.
If you buy the local chicken, the homegrown, they will think you want to use it for one, what they call voodoo.
Yeah, voodoo or something. You understand? I have, for example, in my farm here, I have dog. This dog, you know what they call pekpeye?
Dog, yes.
But some people, when they come to my farm and they see dog, they'll be shocked. That, what are you doing with dog?
Chai. Really?
You understand? Because it's not foreign. If it's something that is foreign, they believe it is acceptable.
Wonderful.
But we have been so much brainwashed. Everything that has to do with our culture, that has to do with our tradition, you understand? We believe they are of the devils. Anything that is not in the Bible, you understand? It is demonic.
Wow. You know, I'll take you back to what you said earlier, that every year the churches will say it's my year of this and my year of that. I want you to elaborate on that because it's something that actually bothers me too, and I have spoken on it over and over, but I see that you also have a viewpoint on that because you said that people's lives are not getting any better. In fact, at the end of the year, it gets worse. I want you to elaborate on that, sir.
Okay. You see, religious leaders, they cause a lot of problems for us, especially in Africa. Let me use issue of tithe, for example. Personally, I've had every year, I go to church, you understand, before every December 31st, I do Passover in the church. You understand?
Yes, sir.
And they will prophesy that this year is a year of breakthrough. This year will be better than last year. This year will be better than all the years you have spent in your life. But probably because I'm a scientist. Eventually, when I look at the year from January to December, when I look at it, I found out that no, which means what this man has said was not true. For example, let me use issue of tithe, for example. Tithe is something that is controversial, you understand? There are people that believe in tithe. In fact, most churches, they believe in tithe. But personally, I don't pay tithe. Because from the Bible, I read in the Bible where the Bible says, bring forth your tithes and see if I will not open the windows of heaven and bless you. There was a time I was paying tithes. You understand? I paid tithes religiously. I discovered that my salary did not increase. When I stopped paying tithes, my salary still did not increase.
Wow.
So which means my blessing personally is not associated or it's not joined to the tithes. So I felt that, well, this is because there was a time I paid tithes for some time. Later I stopped. Later I went back again. It's like an experiment, case control. I tried to see what happened in the time I was paying tithes, because whether there will be windows of blessing. When I stopped, there was no difference, you understand, between the time I was paying tithes. There are no increased changes in my salary. So I now concluded that, oh, that issue of tithe that they used to emphasize for us in the church is probably not relevant.
They will tell you it's because you are living in sin. They will tell you there's something you are not doing right, that you are living in sin. That's why.
Then it's better to, if they let me continue to live in my sin, if there's any sin, and then enjoy my money instead of carrying it to give to go and give somebody.
Or you don't have faith. It's because
that's
of why.
sin. I also know the Bible. It's not because of sin.
They'll tell you don't have faith.
The Bible says when God brings rain, the rain fall on the land of the sinner and the rights of people that are not sinners.
Okay, Prof, you lived in Europe for many years, and you came back to Nigeria. You are so original. I can see your costume today. I can see the accent and everything. Even though I know that in Germany, it's not English. It might just be a back second language. And there are some schools whose instruction are partially in English. But for you to survive in any of those countries like Austria, Germany, and all of those things, you have to really learn their language. But what do you see to people who travel abroad? They will go to Dubai, and when they come back, they start speaking one, even though they are speaking Arabic in Dubai. Why are you still so original? Somebody doesn't need to spend 5 minutes with you before you will see Yoruba from your accent. Why are you like that with a PhD, with being a professor in many aspects, and why are you not speaking one?
You see, I think it's problem of inferiority complex. Inferiority complex. You see, in Nigeria, there is a tribe. I've had people that say Yoruba people were from Mecca. We migrated from Mecca.
Very, very stupid.
And I laugh. How can you say we migrated from Mecca? I've also had a tribe in Nigeria that they say that they are from Israel, that they are Jews. They are the lost tribe of Israel, that they are Jews.
Very funny.
It's inferiority complex. I'm a black man, I'm a black man. That doesn't make me inferior. If there's anybody that will feel inferior, I think it is the other race that should even feel inferior. So it's inferiority complex, and sometimes emanate from religious mentality. Because how can you say Yoruba people migrated from Mecca? Usually, I heard that from Muslims. And people that also say that they are Jews. It's also for religious reason. They also try to affiliate themselves with the Jewish people because of the religion. It's one of those things that the religious practitioners have damaged our psyche to make us feel inferior.
As a scientist, sir, will you say there is power in Africa, especially when we look at it medicinally? What they call alternative medicine for us, can you imagine that insult? They call it alternative, as if the other one, the orthodox one, is, they call that orthodox, that's original, that is orthodoxy, that is the way it should be, originality. So they call our alternative medicine. The potency, of course, you have talked about the measurement and the dosage, and the fact that sometimes both the potent and some of the things that should have been scrapped go into the medicine. Of course, that's refinement and technology needed. But will you say there's power in power in Africa, not just medicinally? Growing up as a person in Nigeria, how will you explain that? I don't want to put words into your mouth, that when you look at your originality as an African man, what can you say compared to what colonial mentality is trying to sell to you, or Western civilization is trying to brainwash us with over time, food, medicine, and in other remedies? because someone came on this program and he's told us what he experienced personally with people, even others with words and leaves and just some very quick interventions that didn't require hospital. He talked about the woman who gave birth, and after just a short while, she went cooking for the husband because she was fit. What can you say about that?
There is power in Africa. Our traditional power, it is real. And I believe that every doctor, you know, as doctors, we are privileged to know and to express some of these powers. Like my mother told me that during her time, she used ring for family planning.
I've had it before.
Ring, yeah, she told me, she showed her that it's ring. She put the ring on. Well, as long as she wear the ring, she will not get pregnant. It's when she wanted to get pregnant, she will remove the ring.
I know
and
about
even
it.
As a doctor, I've seen somebody that is using this traditional ado. You know what they call ado?
Yeah.
It's a herbalist. The man uses it for pregnancy tests. She just puts it on the ground. You know, I train in Lagos, and during our final year, part of our posting is to go to alternative medical practitioners, including herbalists.
Wow.
We call it a part of the community health, community medicine, because we have to also know what's going on outside there.
The other side.
And I remember this committee, this man, you understand, is a herbalist. He uses God, this like a small calabash, to do pregnancy tests.
The small one.
Yeah, the woman, he will put it on the floor. As a woman, you cross it. If you are pregnant, it will know. If you are not pregnant, and you tell her to go and confirm it with our own pregnancy strip.
Wow.
And it's 100% the same.
100%.
Yes. I've seen a case whereby you cannot give people injection. Needle cannot penetrate because they have this juju on their body.
Okigbe?
Yes, Okigbe. It's real.
Wow.
Doctors will tell you, most doctors that are into community practice, they've experienced it. And there was a time I was doing the surgery in the theater. And with area boys, they fought in Lagos at Soju Elegbadi. A patient was rushed into the theater, into my hospital, and they fought, and the man was caught, and I was suturing him. As I was suturing him, the rival court, they just busted into the hospital and started cutting everybody. And I saw somebody with my naked eye. They were macheting him, and the cutter refused to enter.
Wow.
That was the first time I saw something, eyewitness. The man went to hide. Even I myself, the patient that was suturing, he jumped out and ran away from the theater. I myself, I ran to hide behind the door. And the patient was hiding, somebody was hiding behind the fridge and was using cutlass to cut the man seriously. At the end of the day, he ran away, thought he has killed the man. The man just jumped up. There was no single cut on his body. So our own African medicine is real. That's the truth.
Yes, sir. I will have a rider to that. Help me make it brief this time around. Why did we now get so sucked in with the Western medicine? We are not saying there's no good part. I mean, modern medicine has its place, but has African doctors been in denial to the extent that we're so blinded, if not for social media now, that has democratized TV. Everybody has a TV in their hand. Everybody has a phone. And that's why I'm able to do this program. And because some of these things that you are telling us could not be aired on mainstream media that were government-owned in the past and foreign controlled sometimes, why the denial of many practitioners? What were they afraid of? Was it their license? Was it their meal ticket? What were they afraid of that they allowed the lies of the Western world to travel so far before this kind of time that people like you have the courage to share that you're doing what you're doing is okay, you are helping people, you are saving lives, but that should not mean that we should not acknowledge what is happening on the other side. What were they afraid of? Why did they enable that that disinformation? Why did they enable the lies, the falsehood to travel so far? Yeah.
You see, sometimes, like I said, religion also has a very strong role. There are some traditional knowledge that even you have, that if you practice it, they will believe that it is occultism or it is demonic, it is something. You understand?
Yes,
there are some plants, there are some traditional plants in my farm here. This Efunshile, there was a time that somebody came to work for me and I was telling me that this leaf is used to stop bleeding. You understand? He was telling me about the leaf. And before the end of the...
They use it for me as a child growing up in the city, not village. I mean, I've experienced that now. We do it in school. We do it even in high school. We do it.
And as this carpenter just finished explaining to me, telling me the power of the leaf, along the line, the carpenter just had an accident, fell down from the roof, and has a serious laceration on his head. The first thing I could do was to go and cut the leaf and squeeze it and rub it on the wound, and the bleeding stopped immediately.
Wow.
But then, as a doctor, you understand, I cannot use this leaf on my patients. Because they will think that, this doctor is now doing something else, so he's doing juju. You understand? I would rather prefer to go and buy the chemist own, so that the patient, which is more expensive anyway. Even though I know that this leaf is free of charge, if I can also use it, you understand? The leaf does not only stop the bleeding, I will suture the head of this carpenter, and it's also anesthetic. The patient did not even feel any pain.
Wow.
But in modern medicine, I cannot use it. I know I cannot use it, because so that they will not misunderstand me or thinking I'm practicing something else.
Are you not afraid of losing your license? Because apart from them misunderstanding you, maybe many people are afraid they don't want to lose their practicing license.
Yes, that's another thing. Modern medicine is so much regulated. It's so much regulated. Even if I use the normal one, you understand, which is the modern medicine, if something go wrong, you understand, I can easily defend myself. But if I use the word traditional one, you understand, if something go wrong, they say, it's because you use the traditional one. So even you yourself, when you have the traditional knowledge, you don't want to apply it, because you know that if something go wrong, you understand, so that when they say, what did I use? I say, oh, it is paracetamol I use, which everybody knows, you understand?
Prof,
so the fear of losing your license also restrain you from some things.
Yes, sir. Even to say it, sir, because people were not ready to have this conversation. Prof, where did you find where did you get the courage to speak like this? Because not many people, you are at the peak of your career, not many people will at least respond to our questions this way. They would have been diplomatic, windy, and just lose us in defending Western medicine. And you are not attacking Western medicine anyway. Where do you find how do you get the courage to speak this way?
Because it's the truth now. What I'm saying, I can say it anywhere. They can go and verify it now. It's the truth.
Are you not afraid of losing your practice license or something?
No, I cannot lose my license. If they call me, I can explain myself now and let them try. But we all know this thing now. Even those people, even our leaders, they know this thing. Only that, you understand. Behind the scene, everybody knows. There are things that people do behind the scene, you understand? Right. Among ourselves, we all know.
Right. Yeah, let me seize this opportunity. That one you talked about family planning. I'm still going to talk a whole story about a woman. I went to a university that had no hostels, as it were. My first degree was from Olabisi Onabanjo University, though I did my MBA here in America. I lived in the house of a woman. I'm going to call the name now. The name is called Olorisha Itowo. So I'm naming the address now because this is a real living entity, very close to the Portuguese side. This woman, she'll be looking at us that you people, you don't be using, as young people. She's a very lively woman, very beautiful woman. She's an elderly person, but she's so lively. You know how some of these old people connect. Senators, people from abroad, big business people, corporate people. If you see the kind of jeeps those days that I used to park, I'm talking in the early 90s now. I lived as a tenant there. In fact, I was afraid because behind my window, there's something that used to happen. In fact, that was what made me to leave the house. The woman will say that you don't need all those medicine, like, I don't want to mention names then. She says she will make a suggestion, she'll just cook something with male goats. And for as many years, there's one powder that will come out of it. As many years as that person wants, once you eat that thing once, you put on that ring you mentioned, that person, that woman will never conceive, not conceive. The moment she wants to conceive, all she needs is to take the ring off. And that preparation was done with a male goat, and male goats don't conceive. I can't even say what my eyes saw. That's why I say pastor, I pity pastors who, because if we talk, they will say we have gone traditional. I am almost even neutral religiously, even though I affiliate with Christianity. What I know, let me even say it, they will be cutting live pig like this, and the blood, men will raise the blood and they are shedding it on human beings' head. That's why when I hear without the shedding of blood, there's no remission of sin, as if it is peculiar to Christianity. Real life pigs like this. So why I'm saying that, in fact, there's more. I can write a whole book on it, but we have just a few minutes just to corroborate that there are natural family planning ways. And even that, even in high school, you know, we go to school with a mix of people. We are city boys. But I went to one of, okay, in the high school, people will use that thing. In the neighborhood, a lot of things happen. How we got to this point of denial, even knowing that this thing is real, like you said, is religion, because we want to be religiously correct. And then they made us so ashamed of our own that affiliating with your originality, this is not even traditional religion, it's not Isheshe, it's not a native medicine practice. It's just that you are Yoruba. You came from a village and you had your own way of life. To say the things that you experience, and you know, a lot of pastors will kill people. Although the same deception we find in the Christian religion or the Orthodox religion or the Muslim religion is also, there are some very funny practitioners in the traditional line. Maybe that's part of the problem, because I look at people jumping to Isheshe now. It's good, but if Isheshe is not organized, as long as human beings are human beings, when the falsehood of that particular area now begins to come out, people will now get frustrated because they will be like, okay, we try Christianity, we try Islam, and now they are deceiving us on this side too. I have two questions, sir. I hope we can unpack it. Let us look at this way. Let us look at Nigeria the way it is. Is there hope for this country? And what is the way out? Then I'll ask you my last question.
You mean Nigeria, the way it is now, what is the way out?
Yes, sir.
I think the way out is to restructure the country.
How?
Like I said, Nigeria is like a ship where you put monkey, you put fish, you put a bird, and you said they should go to the same direction. The country should be restructured in such a way that people that have the same culture, the same language, they should have a form of autonomy. You understand? And decide how they want to move and what they want to move.
Okay.
That's the way forward.
Let me ask the question in another way, because that is hard. Okay. It seems like everybody agrees on that, but it's like everybody wants to go to heaven, nobody wants to die. Everybody knows that's the solution, but it's going to be hard. Is there any hope, even with the way we are?
The way we are now, there's no hope. You see, before Tinubu become president, people believe that Buhari was the worst thing that can happen to Nigeria. And I used to tell them that, look, by the time Buhari leave, you people will regret it. You will say that, if we have known, we should have given Buhari third time. You understand? I don't know Tinubu, but I know that Nigeria is going to get worse under Tinubu. And the person that is coming after Tinubu, by the time Tinubu spend 8 years and finish and go away, Nigeria is even going to get worse.
Most people die. I mean, that's why
people are dying already now.
But people
died. People died during Buhari. People that will die under Tinubu, they are going to be more than people that died during Buhari.
Okay,
and people that will die by the time Tinubu handover, it's going to get worse. There's no way out.
Are we now leaving the country to die? What will be the way out for the common man?
I believe that when the common men, when they get tired, you understand? Because you get to a point where people will now say, we are tired. We want a solution.
All right. I think I will keep it there. Prof, can you do this in 30 seconds? Do you have your, last words on this program? Maybe something you just want to throw out there. We have just like 30 seconds.
Hello?
Just anything from you. Maybe there's something you just want to, any last comments?
Well, I would just say that we should keep our hope alive.
Thank you.
And we should not give up.
Absolutely. What a beautiful way and place to end this program today. We have had on this program today Professor Akinwale Efunshile. Prof, thank you for joining us to do this today. We appreciate the privilege. We appreciate the honor of your presence. Joined us late. Professor Wale Efunsile is actually a professor of a consultant pathologist and fellow of the Medical College of Pathologists of Nigeria. Is currently professor of medical parasitology at Ekwueme Federal University, Abakaliki, Ikwo, Ebonyi State, Nigeria, and currently also the Dean, Faculty of Basic Clinical Medicine, Ekwueme Federal University, Ebonyi State. Thank you, Prof, for joining us. Please hang in there.
Sir.
I just want to use this opportunity also. Please hold on, don't log out, to appreciate our support. I get help from OMS Odeku Multimedia Services that help us, support us on the back end. They handle everything, multimedia, social media, new media, right from the ideation, when you get the idea, to end to end. And they also have virtual assistants that can manage your social media. I'm very busy with my work. I am 100%, 110% sold to my work, but the help I get from them makes me able to do this. They'll put their number on the screen. Thank you, Prof, for doing this with us. And viewers,
thank you.
That's where we round up, we hang our boots today. Thank you so much for joining, and we hope you will join us on the next one. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Share this video and let other people, let's continue this sensitization in our community and benefiting from the information that we are bringing this our very valuable guest to share with us. We'll take care and we'll see you on the next one. Please subscribe before you log out. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you,
Prof. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, sir.